Hello class, and welcome to section 10.1b, which is about the volume of triangular prisms. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to find the volume of a triangular prism. So a triangular prism is a 3D figure that has the triangles for bases. So that means when we were looking at the rectangular prisms before, that means that our two end caps were rectangles. Now our two end caps are triangles. So we're going to have two triangles, this top one and the bottom one right now, the way that it's positioned, are both triangles in shapes. It could be depending on how this figure gets rotated. It could be that the left and the right are triangles, or so the triangles can be anywhere on this shape. We just have to look and see that there are two triangles. When we have a triangular prism, we have two options for the volume formula, whether you want to use division or multiplication. Our first formula using division says that the base times the height of the triangle. So what that means is you're going to need to pick out from your shape, you are going to locate the triangle. So in this case, down here at the bottom, and you want the base and the height of the triangle shape. So that's what goes in the parentheses. This second height, we refer to it as height, and we say that it is the space connecting those two triangles that we have. And then we divide that by 2. If you want to do the multiplying, you're going to start by multiplying by 0.5. Again, base and height of the triangle, and then the height, the distance between the shape. Now again, I'm saying height for this distance between the shape, but remember, if our figure turned, that might actually be, if I'm going to actually turn it this way, that base and height, our triangle then now becomes this part over here, and your thing that used to be the height is now a width. So we're always going to call it the height, but it might be on its side and it might look more like a width. So the formula is going to call it height, but it might be more of a width shape depending on the orientation of the triangle. So again, you have the option to use the dividing or the multiplying formula. Start by locating the triangle, finding the base and the height, and then finding the height or the distance between those two triangles. So for example here, we have this triangular prism. I'm going to first locate the triangle, so that's this front part right here. Then I need the base of that triangle, which is going to be 7, and the height of the triangle, which is going to be the 8. Then I have this other piece right here, which is the height in between the triangles, so between the front triangle and the back triangle. So that's our regular height, and that's going to be 10. So when I am solving my equation here, I'm going to go ahead and say that the volume is equal to, in parentheses, the 7, the base of the triangle, times the 8, the height of the triangle, multiplying that by 10. And then we're going to go ahead and divide that by 2. You can plug that whole thing into the calculator, and when you do that, you are going to get that your volume is equal to 280, and then remember, volume has yards cubed. So you want to make sure you have that cubed to show that it is volume. So again, plug it into the calculator, get your answer. I'm going to go through another one. Sometimes they give you extra measurements that you don't actually need. So we need to be able to pick out which measurements we actually need. Again, when you are starting these problems, locate the triangle. If it's easier to trace the triangle to help you, do that. We're looking now at the base of this triangle, which is going to be 4, and the height of this triangular shape, which is going to be that 3.5. So that's the height of my triangle. Then we're looking for the measurement that is between the two triangles. So if we look here, the 4s are other measurements on the triangle, but this 7 tells us how far it is between the triangles, so that's going to be our height. So these two measurements don't actually matter in our problem. So we're going to set up now. We're going to say volume is equal to, in the parentheses, the triangle information. So 4 times 3.5, close that parenthesis. Then we've got times 7, how far it is between the triangles, and then divide by 2. And when you plug all of that into your calculator, you are going to get an answer of volume equals 49, and then our label this time is going to be meters cubed. So we have, again, that's our volume answer. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Locating the triangle down at the bottom, you're going to notice that the base is 8 and the height of that triangle is 10. Our height between the triangles is that 13, so this 12 right here is irrelevant, or excuse me, 12.8 here is irrelevant. Plug that into your calculator, you get 502 meters cubed. Sometimes there'll be some words associated with the problem, so this one says a concrete skateboard ramp is shown below. Find its volume. So again, we always want to start, identify the triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and outline that here. And when you are looking at that triangle, the base of this triangle is going to be the 10, and the height of your triangle is going to be the 7, which means between the front triangle and this back triangle back here, that's that 4, so that's going to be our height. So remember, even though it looks like it's a width, even though it looks like it's going across, we're going to refer to that as height. So then I need to set up for my volume equation, and I'm going to say volume is equal to my base of my triangle 10 times my height of my triangle, which is 7, then multiplying by 4 and dividing by 2. And when you plug that whole thing into your calculator, you are going to get a volume of 140. And then here we've got a label of feet cubed. Go ahead and try this one on your own. So identify that triangle out front, base of 6, height of 2, and then between the triangles is 16. Again, I know it looks like a width, but remember we refer to that as a height. So we've got 6 times 2 in parentheses times 16 divided by 2, which gives you 96 centimeters cubed. If you have questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please feel free to reach out and let me know.